Hello, my name is Kendra Hickey, and I will be arguing for universal healthcare systems in the United States. What is universal healthcare? According to the article Universal Healthcare in the United States of America, A Healthy Debate by Gabriel Ziev, Zachary Kerr, Justin Moore, and Lee Stoner, universal healthcare is equal access to healthcare for everyone. Universal healthcare helps provide equal access to healthcare regardless of income or employment status. This gives access to necessary services such as prevention, treatments, testing, and rehabilitation, no matter your standing in the United States. Misconceptions. Common misconceptions are that insurance would be free. Americans would have a healthcare tax that would cover healthcare costs. Universal healthcare does not mean that every medical cost is covered. It would be similar to some current insurances. For instance, certain medications you have to pay a little bit for when you go to the pharmacy, or that elective procedures wouldn't be covered, just like they are mostly not covered now in the United States. However, this would depend on whether or not the United States put that in their universal health care, like contract with Americans, essentially. As well as there are some other costs that may come out of the pocket of the patient. Again, this just depends on what exactly universal health care would cover here in the United States. One advantage to switching the United States to universal health care would be equal access. This means that nobody in the United States would be at a disadvantage regarding their health. Everyone would have the same coverage and options for doctors as anybody else would. Low-income families would have the same care as high-income families, and homeless population would be included in that. Elimination of the profit in healthcare eliminates the level of care that a person would receive based on ability to pay. Everybody would be treated equal in their health treatments. Nobody would be discriminated against depending on their income or their employment or anything like that. Another advantage is the lowering cost of healthcare. According to the article, What is Universal Healthcare? The government would be the ones regulating the cost of care. Because of this, insurance companies would no longer be competing, thus rising healthcare costs. This also means that providers no longer have to deal with several insurance companies. This all allows healthcare to be more affordable. It's more affordable to citizens because the overall cost of healthcare is lowering, and it is more affordable to providers because of the lowered administrative costs that they would have. This makes running the facility more affordable. According to the article, Universal Healthcare provides Americans the security needed in uncertain times by Jeremy Corvallis. Americans pay over twice as much as other countries for health care, and nearly 2/3 of American bankruptcies in the United States are at the fault of medical debt. That's something that almost never happens in any other country. Universal health care would help fix this growing problem. Stability is another benefit of universal health care because your coverage never changes. This is beneficial when changing a job or moving from one job to another. Right now, when someone switches or loses their job, they have to find a new insurance, either with their new job or finding an affordable insurance that they can feasibly afford while being unemployed. Universal health care would be the same no matter what, if any job that people have. This is great when you are switching jobs and the benefits of your insurance from the job you were previously at ends and you're waiting for your insurance to begin at your next job. You wouldn't have to do that anymore because your insurance would just be there throughout any job that you have. You wouldn't have to worry about having better coverage at one job and less coverage at another job. Your coverage will consistently be what it is at all points in your life. Universal health care could save lives in America. According to the article, should all Americans have the right or be entitled to health care? There are 444,789 deaths every year that are associated with the lack of insurance. This means that the population of individuals that are uninsured are 40% higher risk of death. Countries that have health care systems similar to universal health care have life expectancies that are 5 years longer than those in the United States. I would like to share a personal example. My personal example involves me and my grandmother. While me and her were catching up about a week ago, we came upon the topic of insurance. I was telling her that while I have HIP, which is a government insurance, this insurance does great on covering my procedures and any appointments that I've had, but finding places that take my insurance is extremely hard. And often when I do find a place, they make me very uneasy to go into. For example, it took literally calling like 20 to 25 dentists to finally find one that accepted my insurance. Once I went to that dentist, their technology was very dated in comparison to ones that I've been to in the past, but my care was fully covered by my insurance. On the other hand, she has worked at the same trailer factory for about 24 years. She's had the same insurance and has paid in nearly $19,000 to this company. She's got no problem finding any places that accept her insurance. Most of them accept it, no problem. But every time she goes to the doctor, even if she just needs she has a cold and she needs to go in to get medicine, she has to pay a $50 copay just to see the doctor. And when she got very hurt at work, she had to pay $2,500 for her x-ray. Health coverage is very confusing in the United States. People who pay very little to nothing at all often have better coverage, lower quality care, and less opportunities than those who pay extraordinarily higher amounts for their insurance. These individuals have lower coverage but have more opportunities at places that are higher quality healthcare providers. To conclude my argument, there are many advantages to universal health care over our current health systems. Equal access would allow all Americans to have good health care coverage. Nobody would have to worry about their quality of care. The lowering costs of health care would allow everybody to be able to afford coverage. Stability would be very beneficial because changing jobs sometimes isn't voluntary, and it could be very shocking to have to find coverage very quickly, and often that kind of coverage isn't very good, to say the least. And universal health care would save lives. It would take people who can no longer afford insurance right now. Those people would have coverage. They could go to the doctor when they need help without worrying about going into debt. I think that universal health care would be great in comparison to the health care that we have now. These are the references for my debate. Thank you.